Right.
Hi guys.
Guess who's back at
Oh wow.
Mommy's tell
I am so dead.
Hi guys.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hi everybody.
Hi everyone.
How are you guys doing?
Hi. Right.
Today we are back with video number 4.
Video number 4.
So yeah guys, this will be the last video of our autism month.
Finances and practical support. Right. And again, as I've said in the previous videos, I can only speak for my own personal journey. There are many and I am none the wiser. You know, I'm also getting to know things as I get along, as I travel this journey. And if some of you have got better information or up-to-date information than I have, please comment down below, or again reach out to me via Snapchat and we can discuss some of these things. Right, as you know, raising a child with disabilities can be very costly. You know, some of it is the practical support that they require, the support. And some of us, because we are in foreign lands, we are in the UK, we don't have a vast support network of, cousins, uncles, brothers, mummies and daddies. We might probably be very, very, very small support networks. And we might even have to, we might be just your immediate family, your children and yourself, and you're relying on formal support, day care, nurseries and things like that. And before you know it, the costs do rake up. And also there are many other decisions that you have to make which can actually impact on you financially, i.e. cutting your hours at work. You might actually end up working part-time. And in some cases you might have to work very, very differently than, however every other family works, because of your commitments to your babies. So what I was going to say is to start, first and foremost, to start off with, if you are employed in the UK, what you need to do is to discuss with your employer around flexi working, because some employment sectors in the UK are very flexible. They take a very flexible approach to people with childcare or caring responsibilities. So you can discuss flexi working before you think of going down the part-time route. So you discuss that with your employer, and some of them can allow you to work from home some days. Some can allow you to start at certain times, which work with your caring commitments. To go part-time, you need to look at your working and working tax credits. So once you decide to go down the part-time option, ring the HMRC, discuss this with them. Right, in the last video which we spoke, so if you're not going to be working full-time, or you're on a particular income, because it depends, it's all income-based. If you're on a particular income, what you can do is, once your child has had a formal diagnosis, you are entitled to working tax credits, and you're also entitled to the disability element of the working tax credit. But for you to be entitled to this, you have to have had the plan and the formal diagnosis, which is why I was saying in some areas the plan opens these doors to financial support. Also, the other thing, if your child is under the age of 16, you are entitled to what is called disability living allowance. So disability living allowance is in two parts. There is the mobility component and the care component. Right, this is where it gets tricky in the UK. If you're filling these forms, you have to be very honest, and it's very, very important that you are honest with this, what else you're doing these forms. So depending with, how your son's disability affects them, is determinant of the award. So you have to be honest. You cannot be minimizing. Say exactly how their disability impacts their day-to-day living. So I've mentioned working tax credits, I've mentioned disability living allowance. So if your son is needing more care, I keep on saying son because I've got a son, but if your child is needing more care than the usual that you can have, you know, and it is going to happen because of the nature of the disability itself. So they're going to need more support than a normal child is going to need. So if you've got somebody, a family member or anybody who's supporting you to do all this, they might be entitled to what is called a care allowance. So if they're doing over 35 hours of caring to support you, or it might be your husband who's stopped working, but they're entitled to what is called care allowance. So what they look at is if the person is in receipt of DLA, that person might be also entitled to the care allowance. But when you're doing all these things, be very careful, because some benefits are income based and some benefits are, as you know, non-income based. So you need to do your research and see if you qualify. With DLA, I think it's non-means tested. Guys, again, if I'm wrong, comment down below, because I might be wrong. It's non-means tested, so depending with what your child's needs are, it's an award for your child. But also after 16 in the UK, things have changed. They might have to go on what is called PIP, but before they turn 16, it's called a DLA. So what, you know, there are some other fringe benefits as well. If your child is going into, you know, places that they need to be supported, the person who is in receipt of the carer's allowance might get a discount. Also, one of you has stopped working because they need to care. You know, you need to look at, you know, how it's going to affect you financially. And before you make too many drastic decisions, like I've said, discuss it with your employers. You know, go to Citizens Advice Bureau. It's a very good place to start. What they do is they've got some, you know, benefits specialists who can discuss with you. You know, because it's quite a complex area, benefits are, and you need to be very careful that, you know, one benefit doesn't affect the other, because you might end up in, you know, a bit of trouble if you don't do it the right way. So it's always worth, you know, having these conversations with HMRC. They're quite helpful. And I will try and leave the numbers of some of these places down below, you know, in the comment box. So if you read, there will be some of these numbers. The other thing is informal support. Right, depending, because the diagnosis itself can be very isolating, and some people will struggle, you know, to find the support they require, so they end up feeling very isolated. You can look at your local autism support networks. There are some, you know, groups in some areas. Some groups are very organized. They run, I know, autism support for parents with children with autism. They do like, you know, support groups. They have coffee mornings for some of the mothers. They do all sorts of things. Be involved in those things, because what happens is, although the diagnosis affects people differently, it's always good to know that you're not on your own. There are other people going through exactly what you're going through. So tap into those, you know, little support groups. There is, you know, like, if depending with where you live, I live in Leicester. There's Autism Leicestershire. It's, you know, very good in terms of resources. So you can sign up for their regular newsletter. They tell you what is changing within legislation. They tell you what is changing within and all sorts of things. So they keep you abreast with the information, things that you need to know. So those are some of the support you can reach out to. Also, the other thing is, you know, the less isolated you become, the more support you get. There are some people out there who feel that they are alone, but you're not alone. Once you go out and start sort of like looking for support, and it has to be the right support for you. Some people do not like the kumbaya, the groups type of thing, and it's okay. And some people like the newsletters just to know what is happening, what is changing. That is also good. Some are very much about the label and they want to be actively involved. Some people do autism runs. Some people, you know, do all sorts of things, you know. And it's how you feel and how you want to be part of the community. And in terms of, you know, like having childcare, the other thing, you know, knowing a few people with children with autism can change your life. Part of any, and I'm not affiliated to any of these Facebook autism groups. I've never wanted to join one for my own personal reasons. But some people gain a lot of things from it. You go there, and sometimes when people are discussing things, you might actually have a few pointers to signpost them to. You know, be as involved as you can be and what is suitable for you and your family. Do not dwell too much on, you know, the diagnosis, the label. See how best you can survive and how best you can function as a family. Be the finances. Always look for, you know, expert advice. The DWP are very good at answering questions as well. Don't hesitate to pick up the phone. You know, the .gov.uk website, I'm going to put some of these links down there. .gov.uk website is also very good. HMRC, funny enough, as difficult as that name sounds to many people, you just think they're tax officers. No, if you call them and you've got a question regarding to your working tax credits and anything, or your change of circumstances, you might already be claiming tax credits, but your child has just been diagnosed. Call them. They'll tell you what you need to do and what how it's going to affect your award. So always stay on top of this. Like I'm saying, you know, some of you are hardworking parents and you need just a little bit of help to get by. So do not hesitate or feel ashamed to ask for a little bit of financial, support if you need it, because that is what it is about. That's all about this video. Again, if there's some things that I've missed, please comment down below, because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just talking of my own personal experiences, and some people who've shared their experiences with me. If you ask the right questions, you get the right answers.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys.
Bye.